He could call out anyone. He could call out
But the
Anthony
thing
Joshua.
is,
It doesn't mean nothing.
Okay, but this isn't Ryan Garcia we're talking about. Teo actually fights the guys.
And Teo doesn't have mental issues like Ryan.
The
Did
thing-
you not see
but-
his last
Is Ryan
interview?
a two-time lineal champion?
No,
with belts?
You're right about that.
Okay.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael back at it again with the Pound for Pound Boxing channel. Thank you for tuning in to our 4th episode today, as we will be discussing Teofimo the Takeover Lopez taking on the live underdog Steve Claggett next Saturday in Miami, Florida for the WBO Junior Welterweight title. Today we will be discussing the legacy of Teofimo Lopez and the breakthrough of the fight. I will be handing this over to my co-host. Now let's talk about boxing.
The return of the takeover, Teofimo Lopez. Welcome back, guys. My name's Eric.
And this is Alex.
And man, June 29th, we got Teofimo Lopez coming back and fighting in Miami, Florida against Steve Claggett. Now, before you get started, I know Claggett's not very well known, but, you know, this is still going to be a good fight.
Yeah, man, your boy's fighting a guy with 7 losses, man.
It is what it is.
How do you feel about that he's fighting some bum?
You know, I'm not going to lie. You know, this is a guy that's tailor-made for Teofimo. Obviously, this is a fight for him to come back and get his confidence up. But at the same time, this guy's last 9 fights has won, and he's knocked out 7 of those 9 fighters.
Yeah, but the thing with Teofimo is that he has controversy with his last 3 fights. You know, he lost to, what's his name, Cambosis. He got dropped by Sandor Martin, arguably twice.
That was embarrassing.
He also got taken to school by Jermaine Ortiz.
Okay, no, see, that's where I have the issue. He did not get taken to school.
And,
yes, Jermaine did boxing,
and
right.
he did look good against Ocampo, right?
Okay. You're right. Jermaine Ortiz boxed very well. But at the end of the day, it's not up to us. It's up to the judges. And what the judges saw is what the score is. You know, Teo won the fight. Teo won the fight against Sandor, and Teo won the fight against Jermaine Ortiz. Now, let me tell you this. Again, he might have hard fights where he doesn't look all that good, but you also got to give him the credit. He's always fighting good caliber opposition.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
And I feel like Teofimo is one of those fighters that he rises to the occasion. Against C-level, B-level fighters, it's almost like he doesn't train as hard, I feel like, and so he doesn't perform his best. But we've seen him when he fights the Lomachenkos, the Josh Taylors, the guys that are undisputed in their division, he rises to the occasion, and that's why they call him the Takeover.
But the thing is, with Josh Taylor, is that you could argue he was already washed by the time he fought him. Look, Josh Taylor is mechanical. The way how he fights, if you pay attention, he just looks like a robot when he's fighting.
Okay, but the thing is you can't say that because he was undisputed. Nobody had beat him before that.
Yeah, but
so you can't say he
doesn't mean he didn't age overnight.
Okay, but come on,
people wonder when Beterbiev is going to age overnight.
Yeah, but look at him. He's holding 3 belts and everybody's afraid to fight him. I mean, you got to say that. I mean, yes, okay, Josh Taylor might have looked even bad against Jack Catterall in his last fight, but regardless, he was still a fighter that was undisputed and undefeated. Okay, so we got to put the respect there. Vasily Lomachenko, he handed him one of the bigger losses.
No, you're right.
After that, Lomachenko just started kind of going slowly downhill. I mean, Lomachenko's still a great fighter, but still, he beat Vasily Lomachenko when nobody thought he'd beat him. I remember seeing Lomachenko versus Teofimo, and everybody laughed at Teo, saying this young kid is out of his mind. Yeah. You know, it's this young, cocky kid that's out of his mind. But Teo shut him out. And then he had a tough loss against Cambosis. We know that he was sick. Then he had a couple more fights, went up a division, called out the undisputed king at 140, and he beat Josh Taylor. You can't admit, Teo is the man at 140 right now.
No, you're right. Especially these last couple events, he is the man at 140.
He's got to be. He's lineal. He's the lineal champion. He's been 2 times undisputed.
Yeah, bro, but is he really about to hand the fans a fight with like a guy with 7 losses? Some bum that I've never... Claggett? Who is that guy? Really?
Okay.
Like, his name even sounds like a bum.
But this is what we deserve, man. This is what us fans deserve.
We do not deserve this fight.
You want to know why we deserve this? Because we laugh at Teo. We constantly spit in Teo's face. I mean, this guy is literally one of the guys out of the younger generation of Shakur, Tank, Devin, and Ryan. I mean, you got to give props to Haney. He's actually fighting the guys. But he's one of the very few that has a stacked resume, that's always fighting good competition, and that calls out those great fighters that every time he calls someone out, people laugh at him. He sent a contract to Subriel Matias before Matias took a loss against William Paro, which shout out to him. He sent out a contract. He came out on video, Matias came out on video saying, Oh, he did send the contract, but I was injured at the time, so he said no. He called out Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez, said he wasn't ready for Teo, and he moved on to Golden Boy. He called out Devin Haney constantly. That fight never happened. He's called out multiple champions. He's called out Terrence Crawford, and people laugh at him. People think this guy's crazy. Yes, Crawford possibly would beat him, but that doesn't mean that Teo isn't calling out for great fights and great matchups.
Yeah, bro, but there's a difference between calling out people and actually fighting people. He could call out anyone. He could call out Anthony Joshua. It doesn't mean nothing.
Okay, but this isn't Ryan Garcia we're talking about. Teo actually fights the guys.
And Teo doesn't have mental issues like Ryan? Did you not see his last
Is Ryan a two-time lineal champion?
No.
With belts?
You're right about that.
Okay. Does Ryan have anywhere near the same resume as Teo?
No.
And exactly.
But mentally...
That's my point.
I mean,
it doesn't.
come on,
the
bro,
mental doesn't matter
mentally.
because Teo has way more accomplishments over Ryan Garcia.
No, you're right.
If both of their careers were to end today, Teo's would be way above Ryan's.
But hold on. But mentally, it does affect Teo because it affects his fights. The way how he fights, it depends on his mental state. You know, what you were telling me about Kambosos, when you fought him, he supposedly had something going on in his life.
Okay, no, but that's because he was sick. He had air in his chest.
And he got a divorce or something like that.
But that has nothing to do with it, man. He had air in his lungs, dude. You try fighting like that, you know what I mean? That it takes a lot to fight someone like that. You know, it wasn't a good day in the office for him. But regardless, we gotta. Okay, so again, going back to the fact that I said he sent out a contract to all these guys and they don't want to fight him. He is the guy at 140. You admitted to that, right?
He is, yeah.
And now let's review all these other younger guys around his weight division. Let's review their last couple fights. Subriel Matias just took a loss. Devin Haney just took a loss, even though they technically not no more. But we all saw him get dog walked by Ryan Garcia, guys.
That should have been a loss.
It should have been a loss regardless. But we saw him got dog walked. Okay, Shakur Stevens had one of the most boring fights ever. Rolly Romero's been knocked out like 7 times. Ryan Garcia might have had a great victory against Devin Haney, but it doesn't matter. The guy came out dirty. Overweight, and he came out dirty. He tested for Austrian, so that takes away from that win. The only one that you can say that has great wins, but even then, it isn't against champion A-level competition, is Gervonta Davis. Shout out to Gervonta. He's probably the best one out of all of them, but regardless, Gervonta's resume is nowhere near the level of Teofimos.
Yeah. You could argue that Teo possibly even has the best resume out of all of them.
He does.
Especially he has Lomachenko on his resume.
He does.
Prime Loma, so.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying that. Although we do give a lot to Teo, you know, I feel like we give him too much stuff because he does fight these guys. He always calls out the best in their divisions, and he beats them.
But now, shame I'm not on saying him for not taking the caliber, of opponents that serious.
Yes, true. But one thing I will say, I would have preferred to see him versus Keyshawn Davis.
Oh, that would be.
I'll admit it. I would have preferred that. I think Teo might be, be a little petty. He could get a little petty just like all of us can. But I think he didn't want to give Keyshawn Davis a shot. But I do believe, that would have been a great fight. Keyshawn Davis is a hell of a boxer. He's a contender. He has only a few fights, but my guy's an Olympic amateur. This guy has a great resume already. Just came off of beating Jose Pedraza, one of the very few guys to stop Jose Pedraza. Man, that would have been a good fight.
Now, do you think that actually might be his next opponent?
I don't think Teo wants to fight him. I think Teo's just looking for legacy fights. I mean, I've heard him even say in interviews where he says, "I'm not looking forward to fighting."
This isn't a legacy fight.
Yeah, I know, but this is a fight to get his confidence back up. He always takes these after getting in hard fights. He always takes the confidence boosters.
I mean, yeah.
But regardless what I'm saying, I think he doesn't. I've seen him in the video where he said he doesn't want to fight even Ryan Garcia and all those guys. I think those fights will still happen, but he says he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. That's the guy he keeps claiming he wants to fight. Do I think it's a smart idea? No, but I'd still give him the props and the credit, and I wouldn't count Teo out just because he always does come through with those big fights.
Yeah, but Terrence Crawford's too big for him, especially at 154.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that fight won't happen, but if it did, I would be excited. I'd still watch it. I mean, we're talking about Crawford versus Canelo, so
but
anything's
the main fight
possible.
Is Keyshawn for sure.
That'd be a good fight. I really want to see Teo against Gervonta Davis. I feel like the style there makes perfect sense.
That's a nice matchup.
Or, before Devin Haney lost, I think that was the rivalry that we all wanted to see. Devin Haney versus Teofimo.
And to me, that's still a big fight.
Yeah, that's still a great fight because they've both lost.
Yeah, exactly. And then technically, Devin's undefeated now, so They could build that up. Someone's got to go, but for sure this time.
No, yeah, and you're right, but I still think it would be a great fight. You know, I think they both came off some hard. You know, Teo came off a hard win against Jermaine Ortiz, and Devin Haney came off a hard win against Ryan Garcia, even though it should have been a loss. So I think that fight's still possible, and I think everybody would be excited to watch that fight still. I think the fight and the money is still there, and we need to see who's the best.
Yeah,
we need to have these guys, the younger in the weight division, Shakur, Tank, Ryan, Haney, Teo. We need to see them fight, and they're starting to, but we need to see all of them fight.
But to make sure that they do fight is that the Saudis need to get involved, man.
Yeah, I mean, we need Turkey Al-Rashid. We've said that so many times, but regardless, man, I'm happy. This is going to be a good fight. I know Teo is going to more than likely he's going to win. You know, stylistically to break down the fight a little bit.
Ocampa.
To break down the fight a little bit, you know, Claggett is a guy that has had multiple losses at this point, 7 losses to be exact. He is on a good little winning streak, but Claggett is a fighter that likes to come forward, and we know Teo's style. He likes to counterpunch. He likes people that come forward because he showboats. He likes to use athleticism. So stylistically, this is Teo's match. This is for him to win. I do think Teo's probably going to win. I'm just going to put it out there. I think he's going to probably knock him out within 9 to 10 rounds. But I could also see it going to decision.
Yeah, especially since at 140 it'll probably have an effect on his power. Oh, but
he's already fought at 140.
That's right. No, but I'm talking about the Ocampa. It's already been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Teo's definitely in the weight class now. If anything, you could say that he's having a hard time cutting the weight, even though he's not that big of a 140-pounder.
But he hasn't really gotten no knockouts, huh? Or, well, technically he's
not at 140. Not at 140. It seems like his power's there, but it just seems like
it's a little harder.
He's had these hard fights. I mean, think about it. Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz like to move. So when someone's moving, it's harder for them to get knocked out. You know that. But someone like Josh Taylor, he gave him work. He hurt Josh Taylor multiple times, but Josh Taylor's a big 147-pounder, dude.
Yeah.
He's even big at 147 pounds. That guy could be at 154.
Yeah, possibly.
So, I mean, we'll have to see. I think if he's going to knock someone out, it will be Claggett.
It probably will be this guy.
But let's not count Claggett out, guys. Have you guys not seen the Rocky movies? I mean, this is a live dog, man. This guy, this is his one and only chance to prove that he could be something in this sport, and I got to give that man respect because he's going to enter the ring with a young lion.
Yep, possibly one of the best fighters of this generation.
That's a hard one to call, but we'll see at the end of the day where Teo's legacy stands. At this point, I do got to say Teo is one of the best fighters at the division, if not the best, and one of the best fighters in boxing, one of the more entertaining ones.
One of the 5 kings.
But again, we're just going to have to tune in, guys. June 29th, Miami, Florida. The takeover will return. And will he be the takeover or will he be the takeout? Thank you guys again for tuning in. My name's Eric.
And this is Alex.
And this is your boy Michael. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, who do you got? Teofimo the Takeover Lopez or Steve Claggett? And we're out.